in the building. We're about to get right into our open mic hour. And you know, kama dawa, we always look for the best informed individuals to have conversations with right here in studio. And we're about to have one such conversation with a very brilliant gentleman. Ametoka mbali sana na I think anaenda mbali, and that's why naona hata kwa macho yake amechoka kidogo, lakini I'm sure by the time we start speaking into that mic, the energy will be back. Remember, you can watch this show live on YouTube. We'll be streaming live on YouTube. On YouTube, we're on Radio Gen KE, and also we'll continue our stream on X on the same handle. So check us out over there. Sit back, get some coffee, get some hot chocolate, and let's have some very, very nice conversation. Today we have a very special guest in the building. Bwana Daktari, karibu sana.
Asante sana.
I think I'm going to go ahead and introduce you wind down style. So sit back and enjoy. I'll need you to just pull your mic towards you like that. Yes. Tonight on the wind down, we're joined by Dr. Maxwell Okoth, a visionary healthcare entrepreneur, medical doctor, and the founder of RFH Healthcare. From starting with a small clinic in Rye to building one of the fastest growing hospital networks in East Africa, Dr. Okoth has dedicated his life to making quality healthcare more affordable and accessible to everyday Kenyans. He's an award-winning leader, a strategist, and a believer in building healthcare systems that truly serve the people. Welcome to the wind down, Dr. Maxwell Okoth.
Asante sana.
Karibu sana, Bwana Daktari. It's good to see you.
Thanks.
I haven't seen you in around, okay, I saw you recently at some event, but I haven't seen you, sat down with you in like maybe 8 years now.
6, 7 years there.
Yeah, it was around COVID those days.
Yes.
Yeah, and I've seen from the conversations we had at that time and the things that you are doing now, I'm seeing growth.
Growth is good.
Yeah, growth is a good thing. You even have a college now.
Yes, we have a medical training.
Tell us about that as we begin this convo.
If you run a hospital, the biggest challenge you have mostly is human resource. And so struggling with human resource and also looking at the data of medical personnel and the gap in producing medical personnel across the world informed us of the need to have a training college, but also not just to train medical personnel, but train personnel that adhere to the mission and vision that RFH stands for.
Oh, okay.
So we inculcate that culture of a patient-centric approach straight from training.
All right.
And it was also informed by the fact that people come with certificates, but we still have to train them again. So first we were producing medical personnel for our own consumption, right? Mm-hmm. So it cuts on the cost of training people you have already hired. So we train them and then we absorb them. And then, of course, now we also give them to the market, which it's now 3 years old. We've had 3 graduation sessions.
Hey, congrats.
And it's picking up very well. We were just accredited by Nursing Council of Kenya to start offering diploma in nursing. That is big. So we're producing, the first intake is in September for the diploma in nursing Kenya Registered Community Health Nurse, which is KRHCN. We hope to grow it and hopefully one day have a full-fledged medical university, inshallah.
Eish.
As they say, we offer a diverse number of courses that probably just take you through them. Mm-hmm. There are courses that people never thought of, like medical billing. Usually people would call me and say, I have a cousin who's looking for a job. Can you fix him as a front office? A front office personnel in a hospital is not just a front office. It's actually a technical job. So those things and those gaps that the society and community had not thought of the need to have a course that is tailor-made to be a medical front office, medical billing. So we came up with that, and we are the pioneer institution to provide that course. Most of our graduates get their jobs even before they graduate.
Congrats on that.
We have institutions lining up and waiting for them. But if you leave that, just the nursing and medical billing, we also offer diploma in perioperative theatre technology, certificate on the same course as well, certificate in health service support, which previously used to be called nurse aides or nurse assistants. They are very good right now, especially for home cares and all those type of services. We also offer diploma in orthopedic and trauma medicine, certificate in orthopedic and trauma medicine, diploma in health records, certificate in health records, certificate in dental assistant technology, certificate in medical billing. Some of our students have also gone abroad. They work outside. So we are producing very diverse, active, hands-oriented, patient-centric, empathetic medical personnel.
So did you get like an inspiration from, like I'm hearing some of the things you're saying, like the one for billing.
Yeah.
Did you study other organizations and came up with these, structures and courses? Did you get inspiration from somewhere else, or it was just from need?
It's from the need. As an entrepreneur, your main thing is to sort problems and find solutions to problems. So if we are, like previously, before we offered this course, if you asked me what is your qualification for a front office in a hospital, somebody will tell you either somebody who did hospitality or, something like that. But then once we employ them, then we have to train them, because if you're in the front office, you need to know how to fill medical insurance forms, you need to know how to use the biometric systems, you need to know even just a basic triage, because you are the first person the patient interacts with. And you need to have a bit of a medical training in it, and just to know how a hospital people are treated. So it's the need that we still had to train people. So we said, while we are training them, when we are giving them the job, then why don't we just train them so when they come, that is what they were trained for. So we were fixing a need and a gap that we were actually personally experiencing. But also everyone in the industry was having that need. And we have actually sorted a problem.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
When you were envisioning RFH, those days it was Ruai Family Clinic, Hospital, right? Had you thought that far? Had you thought that I'm going to start a clinic, it'll grow into this hospital, and I'll also have a college? Did your mind go that far?
When you're starting, that's not what you think of. For me, I was just starting a clinic. And that's why even in the naming, we were very local in our naming, because the clinic was based in Ruai, and I said Ruai. So I didn't think we would be where we are today. But I always say, as I say, I think God has been faithful to have held our hands to this point. We didn't see having all these things. But then again, as you go deep into the industry, then you start realizing, where do we want to go and what's our strategic plan moving forward. And so at some point, I think in 2016, we had all this packaged in a strategic plan of the things we wanted to do in the next 5 years. Yes.
So the reason I'm asking is, I'm sure there was somebody next to you called Utawala Health Center or something. So most of the time when we are being taught about being an entrepreneur, we're taught about writing your vision, having a long-term vision. So I'm wondering, what is the difference between that, and I'm speaking on a very basic scale.
Okay.
What is the difference between that, having that long-term vision, rather than just trying to figure out how to go from month to month and survive for a year in your company? Like, should that be the focus when you're running a business? Should you just focus on how am I gonna survive till the end of December, instead of writing this very lofty sounding vision, and probably maybe you won't last for the year?
But if you don't know where you're going, then there's nowhere you're going. I don't know whether that makes sense. So you must have a path of where you intend to be, because that's now what drives you surviving to the end of the year. You get the point. So if yours is to survive till the end of the year, then what happens when the year ends? Do you close shop? No. Surviving, every business is about surviving. But you must be surviving towards something. I'm surviving, floating on this water, so that I reach the end of that, of the pool of the water. So you need to know where your aspirations and ambitions and visions are. And that's why for every organization, you say, what's our vision, what's our mission, what's our core values and everything. So you must have a guiding principle that guides you to where you want to be. Failure to which, then you're just mark timing.
So I know you've told this story 1,000 times before, at least I've heard it, but I'd like to hear it again, because it always leaves me buzzing. Like, what inspired you to start RFH initially?
I had just graduated from University of Nairobi with Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. And then I was posted to Kiambu District Hospital as a medical intern. Of course, when we are being trained, we are trained at KNH. Then you go out there and face the reality of what the health space is. There's been a lot of growth in the past few years, but at that time things were a bit difficult. We had provincial hospitals and district hospitals. Nairobi, to be specific, the only hospital that people would see was KNH. Bagadi was an extension of KNH, and mostly people knew it for TB. It was a tuberculosis center. Tuberculosis center. So most patients in Nairobi, because of the congestion in KNH, would go to Kiambu, and so we were very busy as a hospital. And the infrastructure today is much better. I think at that time we only had one theater, and so this theater takes care of surgical cases, maternity cases, gynecological cases, yes, and everything else that needs to go to theater. And so having started my internship rotating in the maternity ward, of course, maternity gets preference at any point if there's an emergency CS, because these are 2 lives. And so the cold cases are the non-emergency cases, quote unquote, would be booked for future. So we had a waiting list for 2 years. So a mother comes in and has fibroids and is bleeding, and you're telling them the only available space is 2 years down the line.
Yo, that's crazy.
You get, so you're basically telling this lady who's bleeding every day that come back when you're dead. And so with that, and like a basic thing like an ultrasound, we had one radiologist, and of course there's only so much that they could do because they also want that's reporting the x-rays. And so you would get ultrasounds being booked 2 weeks later. So you can imagine a lady, a baby with a cord around the neck. Basically, it's like they're strangling themselves, and there's reduced fetal movements, and you're telling them to come after 2 weeks for you to confirm. So they'll come and there's no baby. And so just those things are the things that really touched me, and I say, what can I do in my small ways to see how we can sort this? And said, I started thinking of setting up something. And at that point, I got a chance to get an experience and exposure at Nairobi Women's, Halaiki, not so far from this office. And I realized if you go to Nairobi Women's here, there's like outpatient, it was a residential building, basically, and then the big hospitals at the back. So just sitting there looking at that, how they worked around that house, I said, okay, it can be done.
Oh, you were learning?
I was going there like as an attachment of sorts. Yes, so being there opened my eyes that actually you can do this even in a small way. So I started looking for capital. So of course, they always say for startups, you have the 3 Fs where you get your money. So either friends, fools, or families who believe in your ambition or dream, no bank will give you money as a startup. So looking around and saying who would be able to support it. So my mother had lost a job. She used to work for a bank at that time. And so she had a terminal due somewhere. So I approached her for the capital. Of course, you don't tell an African parent that you want money to start a business, especially not in the community I come from. So I told them, there's a piece of land I want to buy. People want to see tangible things,
Okay.
Yeah, so she loaned me 300,000, of which there was actually a piece of land I wanted to buy.
Oh.
Yeah, so I paid a deposit this side, then the balance I decided to set up. So the question was, where do you set up? Of course, pipeline was coming up very fast. And then my girlfriend, then seated here with my wife today, tells me that the Eastern Bypass has been built. There's a town coming up called Ruai. They don't have a solid medical facility. So the first day I drove there is the first day I paid the deposit for the house.
On the first day?
On the first day. How
How big was the place?
It was a dusty little town.
No, I'm talking about the place which you...
It was a 2-bedroom apartment.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
So my experience in Nairobi Women's, there's times I would go to Rongai. So when I went there, I saw a new Rongai coming up in Roy. So I saw this would be like a Rongai in the next 5 years.
Yes.
And so let me start small here. Instead of going to a big place which is established and penetrating the market would be very difficult. And so I remember getting the house, calling the landlord and say, hi, I'm interested. So I paid the deposit and the rent. And so I'd already committed and my hands are tied.
How much was it, if you can share?
76,000.
For...
The rent was at 20,000 or thereabout. Deposit 20... either 2 months rent, something.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so 60 plus some costs, but the figure was 76,000. Yeah, so The design was the sitting room would be the reception, and the waiting area. One bedroom was a consultation room. The other bedroom was a nursing station and a pharmacy, and the kitchen was a laboratory. Yeah, and so.
Did you have money for furniture and fixtures?
So of course I'm left with one. I had 150, so I paid 7 something.
Yeah.
So I have So how do we get furniture and fixtures? We fabricated. So we created just like a bench, put like a mattress on top, covered with it's called the PVC.
Yeah.
Leather, yes, and we bought MDF boards. Took a chonga. We made the reception. We made the shelves, and then pesa ikaisha.
Who was helping you? It was you and some guys you hired?
No, just fundis, 2 local fundis.
But you're the visionary.
Yes, you're the one drawing everything and directing how it's being done. Yeah, so pesa ikaisha. So I think I went back to her, told her, now I'm deep in this. I have no way out. And I borrowed money. So I remember we came to Ngong Road, China Center. She was a student. She entered the bank and came out with 100,000.
Oh, she had some savings.
I was shocked.
Huh?
Fear women, they said. But yes, she believed in me.
Yeah,
at
that's
that
really
point.
dope.
Yeah, so she gave me the 100K. I remember going to Mtindwa. Is it Mtindwa?
Yeah.
The one on Ngong Road, Jogo Road. No,
Yes.
Umoja.
I know Mtindo. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do furniture
Yes,
there.
yes.
I bought seats. This was a tube.
Uh,
Yes, I bought seats, put them here. We bought a bit of stock of pharmacy. Now the basic things, microscope, what here and there. And we opened the doors.
How were you feeling, like in your belly? Were you feeling? Was there fear? What was the emotion?
I was moving. I was just moving. Okay, tomorrow will take care of itself. That was it.
Internal chatter. There was no like, hey, well, now you've chukuad 100K from.
I believed in the dream.
Okay.
And having seen the suffering that people were going through, the demand and need for healthcare was there. So I didn't think that I was gambling. Yes. So the idea was open something and give a service that people will want and come for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what happened next? You opened the doors?
I opened the doors. So then I need to recruit because I'm still an intern. Yeah. Of course, there's the licensing and all that. So a friend of mine, we didn't even know that you can do advertisements for you are hiring or recruiting. So one of our doctors, the girlfriend was a clinical officer. I said, my girlfriend. I said, okay, fine. I've opened a place, you can come. So she came in, became the first clinical officer. Then we hired for a lab tech and we hired for a nurse. So the nurse would be the receptionist and also dispensing and at that time. And so during the day they would cover up. Then at night I would come in in the evening after my rotations, I would come in to see how they are doing. It was a bit difficult because I was living in Kiambu, so I would travel. And that time, Eastern Bypass was empty. I look at how Kamakis has grown and I get shocked because I've seen it grow literally from scratch. It was literally a forest. So it was hectic because I remember I would sit in a matatu in Kiambu waiting to go. We would go through Kirigiti to Ruiru. It would take an hour. Then from there, you sit in a matatu waiting for people from Ruiru to Ruai, because Ruai was not so big.
Yeah, it was a dusty.
People who lived in Ruai were very, it was empty. So to fill a matatu was very difficult. And we would sit there again for some period of time, then before it gets full. Yeah, so it became a bit hectic. So I had to literally now also with the cost, because I was paying rent this side and paying rent this side. So I decided to move into the clinic so that I only pay one rent.
Yes.
So after my rotations, I would go to Ruai, and I was the one covering at night now.
Oh, you're the night doctor?
I'm the night doctor. And so basically...
And you've worked all day, remember?
I've worked all day. Yes, so you'd put a kanini. Night is only emergencies.
Yeah.
It was a dead town. So by the time somebody comes, it's an emergency. Either ameumwa na umbwa or
nyoka imemuuma pale.
Vitu kaa hizo. Yeah. Tukasukuma. And I was finished my internship, was sent to Nyeri. So I have to leave people to work here. And they're stealing from you like hell. So, of course.
And what was the patient traffic like? They started trooping in?
Yeah, they started trooping.
Trickling, maybe is a better word.
Trickling, yes. The trickling. We'd see about 5 in a day. Then they went to 10, 15. So the numbers were there.
Did you feel nice at least? Like, guys are coming.
No, the first day, my thing was, did we have an inquiry? For me, that was the most important thing. Because if an inquiry comes in, then the inquiry will be the next need for service. Yeah. Yes.
So now you're in Kiambu, in Nyeri?
So I'm sent to Nyeri. I have a clinic here. So I have to call every day, how are you, how's everything? Character development. Kenyans will show you that.
So guys will get treated, but you...
zero. I mean, there are days...
The money?
There are days they will tell you, we have 96 shillings.
Pesa imeenda wapi?
I don't know. So on weekends I would come in, and then you're in the consultation, say, I was here the other day, they gave me this. I'm like, okay. It's nowhere in our records. We didn't have HMIS systems, we didn't have CCTVs, we didn't have all that. So it was paper, it was literally a counter book where unaandika. So they will write
Kama
to
OB.
you. Bas, kama OB, exactly. When OB, kwani kuna experience. Yeah, so, yeah.
So what did you do? Like, how did you survive that period?
So I needed to really come back. Running a business, remote control is one of the difficult things. Actually, you're lying to yourself if you're doing that. Either you have a very strong management team or you're the one who's there. So I really needed to come to Nairobi. So I started hustling my way to come to Nairobi and get a transfer. I would come on Friday, go to Afia House before I go to Ruai, just to see is there a chance for me to come. And I really kept bugging this secretary for the director of medical service. So luckily, if you pray so hard, God has a way to open doors. And so Uhuru comes in and free maternity service is launched. So they know Pumwani will be full and they need extra doctors. And so this secretary said, hey, there's a boy who's been here.
Anataka kurudi
Nairobi sana. So my name is pushed into that list. I find in the newspaper that I've been posted in Pumwani.
Oh, they write the list in the paper?
No. This one was a special thing. So Pumwani gets extra doctors.
Oh, okay.
You get, and it's a new site. It's actually the front page. And like, whoa, nice, thank God. So yeah, that's how I came back. So
ukafunga mlango ya nyumba ya Nyeri ukasema bye.
But it was a good town. It was good to me, I think. So then so I came to Nairobi.
And meanwhile, these guys are stealing. So you have to maintain the place with your salary?
Yes. I would literally pay everything. And then I would take these short-term loans here and there, very expensive loans. Very, very expensive loans because you need to sort their payroll. So I would literally go to the ATM to remove money from my salary to go pay their salary. It was not easy. I would not wish to be in that state.
It was rough, eh?
It was rough.
Especially emotionally.
It was rough.
Na mrembo alikuwa ameitisha 100k?
Hakuwa na haraka.
Thank God for Warembo loans.
Yeah, Warembo loans.
We should start that product, Warembo loans. Interest free.
Utafanya nini?
So now you got that chance to get to Pumwani and it was a relief more or less.
No, it was a relief more or less. So I would go work in Pumwani. So Pumwani we had shifts. So the days you're not on duty, and so I would be there. So it started picking up, but then now when I was in Nyeri, there was an intern clinical officer who was working under me. It was very good, and so I asked him, what are you doing after finishing internship? So he said, I have no plans, but I'll look for a job. I said, there's a place I'm running. It's not doing very well, but if you believe on where we are going, then you can go sit there. You will pay yourself because you have visibility on what we are generating, but I just want you to put in the work. And he accepted. And so that was even before I came. So that was the beginning of things turning around. He was a bit honest, hardworking, and so that's how things started shaping up.
He became like the guy running the place
He became the guy running the place. Yes. And so it picked up. And so when I came in, so he would run and I would come. So now I was mi ndio alikuwa daktari mkubwa, you know. Nakuja kuona daktari mkubwa. So there are people who are very specific. They want to see you.
Yeah.
And also just the fact that you affiliated with a known institution also built confidence in the traffic of the patients who are coming there.
Oh, okay.
Because there are a lot of quacks and fake doctors out here. So the fact that you're in a government institution would give you a bit of credibility at that time. Yeah, so I came in, and then we realized now we needed a bigger place. So we started scouting for a bigger place.
Oh, that's growth, man.
Yeah, that's growth. So at least now there was numbers, patients were coming. Then there was this product called Youth Enterprise Fund. So I put in my bid and applied.
Oh, okay.
Just trying and testing, yeah. So of course there's always this notion that government thinks you must know someone for them to move. I didn't know anyone, I didn't know anything. And yeah, I got the money and I used because that land had like a payment plan. So by that time I'd finished, I had the title deed. And I used it as security, and we got 1.8 million then. So we got to where the Ruai Family Hospital is today. It was a one-story building that had not been finished. I brought the landlord, said, yeah, that would be good, because even when I was building it, I wanted something that helps the society, and that's why I built a big hall in Ruai. I was wondering, why would you build this? So he wanted either a school, a college, a church, as common. He's a very fine gentleman.
Oh, okay.
Ex-military. So I said, well, the world still has good people.
Yeah.
So he finished it for us, and using the money we partitioned, and we moved, and so now we were full-fledged hospital with 10 beds, a nice maternity. Yeah. And then now insurances started coming in, and NHIF was picking up at that point. We came up with this product where we were comprehensive. Most private hospitals are not comprehensive. People used to say it's only paying bed. So as we choose a contract, that mostly mission hospitals were the ones who had chosen. And so you'd come in and have a cesarean section and not pay anything, and would be reimbursed 30,000. I was a doctor, so it was much easier.
Okay.
So that's how we became popular, and we were known. So we were literally known for maternity, because we came up with a product that was speaking to the masses.
You think your experience at Pumwani was sort of transferred to this other side?
I don't know. I had even in Nyeri, I was working in maternity. Yes, I think maternity was my thing.
That's the area which
Ilikubali. Hapo Ilikubali. Yes.
So by that time, Roy itself had started growing in a faster pace?
A bit. It was opening up. Equity Bank had come in there. Quickmart came in there. Yeah, so the town was growing up. We now had about 3 supermarkets. There was a bank. There were a few ATMs. And so the traffic was coming. And then, of course, land selling companies really marketed it, because that's where the land could be found. And everybody was running to Ruai to buy a piece of land. Yeah,
was the government already talking about dualling that road by then?
No. The dualling of the road came later.
Oh, it was still just...
No, it was... Then when the numbers came in, then the traffic came in, and it became crazy. Yeah, because Utawala... I thought Ruai would be bigger than Utawala. Then Utawala became way bigger than Ruai.
Yeah, those things are so weird. Yeah, it's like the way Athi River has... I thought Athi River would be big.
And Kitengela. Yeah. Yes,
So guys just leapfrogged Athi River and went to Kitengela.
But it's also dynamics, I think, Ruai, because Ruai, the titles are not there. Utawala, the titles are there. People need a sense of security.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that explains it.
Yes.
So, fast forward, what kind of people started becoming... Was it like a middle class, more or less, population that became... regular patrons at the hospital?
Not middle. It was
just
low.
Oh, it was low.
It was low, yeah.
Oh. So how do you handle someone who has maybe not a lot of money, they want to be treated, but they don't have the money? Like, how do you handle that?
Initially, we would tell them, just pay what you have and then you'll come back and pay the balance. The problem is, ukipeana deni mtu arudingi. The next time they need service, they go somewhere else.
Anapita hapo kando, across the road.
Hapo niko na
deni fulani.
We were very flexible, extremely flexible.
Was it to a point of pain?
Yeah, it now became a pain. When we looked at the unpaid debts, it was not sustainable. Because we need to pay for our medicine, we need to pay salary. Yeah. So
how did you survive that? The grace of God.
You write off some things, learn your lessons, and move on. I usually say that's school fees for the lessons you've been taught.
Yeah, it's lessons over the years. Yeah, so and had you moved now and become full-time at the place?
So when we grew, now we went to where Ruai Family Hospital is, then now in 2016 I just resigned from government and went full-time. Yeah.
Were you now, was it matching, the money you're making, was it matching what you'd left there? Or now you're now plugged in to build the vision now?
I'm plugged in to build the vision, and I'm looking at where we are going. Actually took a pay cut. Yes, but at least I was building what is
Yes.
Yes.
And then you're there every single day.
You're there every single day. You give service. You get. I mean, your employees know you. I think it was much easier running it then than it is running it now. Yes.
Yeah, in fact, that's the next question I wanted to ask, because if you compare that picture you've painted to now, can you paint a picture of what RFH is right now?
Wow, it's what do you call it?
A behemoth?
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. So, I mean, you have a dream, you have a vision. How do you transfer it to everyone? You get. So how do you have your middle-level managers pushing this vision to even that person who's doing the cleaning and sweeping? And you're looking at, sometimes there's a time we had about 800 employees. So yeah, it's work. It needs people, processes, systems in place, and every day there are new challenges to be dealt with.
Is dealing with human beings hard?
That is the hardest thing you can ever deal with. Yes. And that is the biggest thing that probably keeps most people awake. Yeah.
So how did you guys pull it off? Because you're growing, that means you're doing something right.
It's having partnerships and people to come in. So we have people who've come in and invested in us as well. And so with resources and that coming in, and also just having people, you need to talk to people every now and then and have a team that believes. It's not easy, then I'll tell you. So you cannot never say you have it figured out. That would be lying to say we have it figured out. But it's a continuous work in progress. Yeah.
Do you feel like as an entrepreneur, you have this baby which you've built, blood and sweat and tears and death, and then now you're growing, and now you have to reach a point where you have to cede ownership to someone who brings in a certain piece of value.
Yeah.
Did you have to do that, and how did you feel like bringing in someone else, if at all you've done that?
Okay.
Is there some pain through that, or you feel like hii kitu ni yangu, I don't want to bring in anyone else, it is mine, because you have the vision?
If you do that, you will sink with mine. You don't do that in business. There's a level of business you have to now have partners coming in on board. You cannot, otherwise you'll just stagnate. So yes, we've done that. We've brought in people to come in and seeded equity. But the main thing about coming up with an equity partner is, what value are they adding into the business? Are you aligned in mission and vision of where the business needs to be? Are you aligned in values? Are you aligned in thought process? With that, it becomes easy. Otherwise, there are people you can bring on board and they will sink you further and frustrate you out. Yes, and that has happened to many people.
So how about the line between being an understanding boss and being a feared boss? You know, that one of, hey, boss, ameingia, guys, kata. Like, how what's your approach in that regard? Fear or just some sort of motivation, as you're talking, like, in order to get people to perform?
That speaks to what type of leadership style do you run?
Yeah.
Are you a transformational? Are you charismatic? Are you, the different types of leadership. So for me, I'm that person who, I don't know. Sometimes I see people run away when they see me, but it's not that. There's natural fear of, for lack of a better word, power, quote unquote, on position. But you need to be that person that people can relate to and talk to. But again, now sometimes because you don't, as you grow up, then probably that interaction comes less and people don't know you.
Yeah.
And so they think because you're there, you're not approachable. But you need to have an open door policy that people can always come in and tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Otherwise, when you do that, then you lose a lot of touch with the crowd. And you lose a lot of information that might be valuable in running that organization. Yeah.
As I told you earlier, we are hanging out with Dr. Maxwell. And Dr. Maxwell, I wanted to, you shared that you have a cancer center.
Yes.
All right, and I want to talk about cancer a little right now. It's a scourge that has affected me personally. All right, my mom had cancer in 2023, and she passed on. Most recently, my sister also got cancer, and she was very young. She was 48 at the time, 47. As I was telling you, there was some lump which appeared on the breast, and then all of a sudden it went so fast. Kidogo, they're telling her, it's stage 4. We had to have her go to India, but she passed on over there. From a doctor's point of view, why do you think cancer is... Like, what would be your layman's report, for a layman, the report on the cancer situation in Kenya and Africa right now?
It's terrible. Like when an organization grows, you need to find something that differentiates you, number one. But I always say you need to have something that has impact to the community and the society. I have also been a person. I don't think there's a family that has not been affected by cancer. So I talked about the medical college. John Charles was my grandfather.
Oh, okay.
A man that really impacted a lot of things in my childhood. I was called John Charles Omondi.
Oh.
And so John Charles, they used to treat him for ulcers. Every now and then, omeprazole, Nexium, here, there. Yeah, then one day we say, this thing has gone too much. Can you go for an endoscopy? But it's too late. He had gastric cancer, which is cancer of the stomach. Really? And then he passed on. So I looked at, we were trying to see what is the way and package ourselves into the next thing that touches a community. And so we went and opened our specialist hospital. We wanted to be critical care experts because there was no hospital with an ICU on that side of the town. And then we did that, invested heavily in RFH Specialist Hospital. And that was a very timely investment. Remember, after that, COVID came. And there were no ICU beds in this town. That's when actually people in Western Nairobi knew about us, because you'd go to Aga Khan and there are no beds. You'll go to Nairobi Hospital and there are no beds, and they would say there are beds in Ruai, and people are like, what? Ruai? Is there anything there? Because people used to think Ruai is just sewage that goes there.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, so we treated quite a number of people during COVID, and people got to know us. But then also that made a lot of investments in ICUs everywhere, which is a good thing because it was democratizing healthcare availability. Mm-hmm. So our next phase of growth was, what do we do that touches hearts and families and changes how we do medicine? So we look at the data and statistics. If you're diagnosed with cancer today in this country, chances are 87% that you're going to die. So basically a diagnosis of cancer is like a death sentence. You only stand a small 17% thereabout that you're going to live. So it's a bad scenario, terribly.
Yeah.
The numbers are bad, but the investment is huge, and that's why there's not so much investment in cancer. Cancer, it's from diagnosis to the way it's treated to a lot of things. And so we started doing research on how to do it. I had to visit a lot of hospitals. I went to Ankara University Hospital, one of the best cancer centers in the world. Outcomes are very good. We went to Ajibadem in Turkey. We visited Apollo in India, just to see what they're doing. But there's personnel, but there's also investment in technology that changes things. Today you can have stage 4 prostate cancer and survive with good management. So with a multidisciplinary team that looks at your care and treatment. So cancer is not a death sentence, and we can actually deal with it. But there are also a lot of things that need to be done. In prevention, in diagnosis, I think some of our policies need to be changed and looked at. We are very weak and open to a lot of things. Cancer is basically mutation of cells. So what causes a mutation of cells? It could be genetic or predisposition. What is the environment? What do we eat? What do we breathe in? So if the society is very polluted, then that continuous exposure of your cells to these toxic organisms makes the cell trying to survive. And when they survive, they mutate into something that can grow very fast. And so we need to look at what pesticides are we using, what foods are we bringing in on board.
Yeah.
So some of our controls needs to be very strict to be able to fight this. But then now onto our side, which is curative, we've invested in we're the first center to offer lutetium therapy for prostate cancer, which is we call it it's a radioactive element that is being administered into the body. Then we have a PET scan. It's one of the 5 in the country today, which helps in diagnosing, even at a very early stage, and also in monitoring treatment. Then we have a SPECT CT, which we treat it in monitoring. We use it to monitor the lutetium therapy treatment, but also other functions in cardiac management, in medical physiological function management, in thyroid tumor, iodine uptake tests and all that. We offer chemotherapy, immunotherapy, we offer radiotherapy treatments. We have a brachytherapy for ovarian cancer, which is a very localized internal beam radiation as opposed to external, where you burn the cells from outside. And so the effects are not so much. And we have invested in a very diverse team of specialists to be able to treat this.
Is it expensive to do these things?
Extremely expensive. Extremely. So basically, some of us have mortgaged our entire life to offer care to Kenyans. That's the level of sacrifice you have to do. I mean, if you're looking for returns, then it's not the place.
But also on the patient side, it's also very expensive on their side too.
Yeah, the care is expensive. I mean, some of these chemotherapy drugs, you'll find one medicine is 200,000.
For my mom, there was one which was 700,000.
Yes.
For a few cycles
It's terrible.
I was like, "Ay!"
Yeah. So there needs to be a lot of work to be put, because you can imagine how many Kenyans can afford that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's your crystal ball saying in the next, say, 10, 20 years? Do you think it'll, this cost will go down? Is research catching up?
I'm seeing a lot of intention. I think Roche have a partnership that is trying to see how the care is coming down. Also, Big Pharma there's a lot of work they need to do. A problem is when people come up with these inventions, they want to, of course, return back on their years of investment, and that's what brings these costs up. But the conversations are active, and I see a hope. Africa is the most affected currently, but also it's not able to pay. So
we're the most affected?
No, the numbers are bad.
In Africa?
Yes, it's terrible. And then our reporting is not very good as well.
Yeah.
Remember, before people die of cancer, and then people where I come from, they would call it chira, which means it's like a curse.
Yeah.
Because we're not able to diagnose it.
But I thought one of the problems is our diet, and I was assuming that our diet, especially in rural Africa, is fairly, tunakula mrenda, ugali ya brown.
Now, this is me speaking at a personal level. Understanding this thing is very difficult. For example, tobacco increases the exposure to throat cancer and lung cancer and all that. But there are people who've smoked for years. And,
all their
so,
lives.
Of course, you need to take care in terms of looking at the basics and not expose yourself by doing the right thing. But there are people who are just... That's why you say it could be genetic most of the time. So it's nothing under your control. Yeah, but what is affecting us most is we don't diagnose this thing early. And diagnosis means we have to be conscious of our health. The same way you take a car for service every now and then after certain mileage is the same way you need to do that to your body.
We are afraid that ukiingia usi utapigwa, you'll get that fateful sad news. Take it, nilikuwa na hii. You know that fear, though?
Yeah, I know
in
the
our
fear.
culture.
I know the fear that why are you going to look for what you don't know? You understand?
Yeah.
But also on the flip side, I'd rather get to know it early and sort it out. Because now that is what is actually now hitting us. Because we get to know, but we get it too late.
Yes.
And we actually get to know when it's now eating us.
We don't have a culture.
We don't have a culture of
for
checkups and wellness. And that needs to change. We do that for our cars. Why can't we do that for our bodies?
What does a checkup, for someone who's listening, entail? You're a young guy. You seem to be okay. What does it entail? Just getting in and saying, I want to do a full body checkup?
So, personally, I do annuals, every annual. Sometimes I do them twice. So what you do is you enter and say, I want to do my annual checkups. So there are different tests for different demographic ages. So, for example, a lady at a young average age, I would probably be very keen on the breast cancer and all that. So the first things, you look at the blood. So the body has indicators. The same way you have an indicator dashboard in your car. That's the same way the body has indicators. So if I do a full blood count, it should be able to show me if something is wrong. If the white blood cells are higher, then there's an infective process going on. If the things called eosinophils are higher, then you have an allergic hyperreactivity, something going on within your body. And so various things, neutrophils and that things will tell you have a virus that is eating you up. And so once you do that, then you say, hapa kuna kakitu. So it directs the next thing. But then there are basic packages you'll do. You'll check your kidney function, liver function, because cancer affects organs. And these organs are related to the major organs that make the body function. So you'll check your kidney, liver, blood, full count. For a certain age, we'll start looking at your cholesterol and lipid profiles. For those who we fear could be having the hypertensions and all stuff, of course, we check your blood sugar. We check your urine. So with this, it should be able to tell us something else, whether there's something or not. But then also there are things called tumor markers. So we usually do tumor markers. So tumor markers monitor if there's any tumor in the body somewhere, right? So there are different tumor markers for different cancers that we have. So when you go there, for example, I would not do, for ladies, you look mostly breast, ovary. For men, you look at prostate, but then there are also the cross-cutting organs. And we have packages that give you what is there for your appropriate age and gender.
If you're listening, you'd better dash to RFH and get that full body check. I'm going to come.
Very important.
Yeah, I'm going to come. I live in Kitengela.
Okay.
So nitakuja nipige tu kona niitishe
check. Hata hapo sio Kimau tuko na branch.
Oh, kuna branch sio Kimau.
Yes,
Ni proper. Unajua sisi tunapenda kwenda kwa the main branch.
The main branch.
Hapo sio Kimau, there is everything we need for a full check.
It's a full hospital, yes.
Oh,
so
okay.
Probably what you will not get is a CT scan.
Oh, okay. All right. Doc, it's almost 5 minutes to the top of the hour. I know today is Friday. Na mama kwa hapa najua anangoja sana. Your dinner inapoa.
Inapoa.
So I just want to ask a few questions about you, like your personal, day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Because you're always out there caring for people. Does it take a toll on you?
It definitely does. I mean, over the years, you're always dealing with issues here and there, sorting people here and there. It does. So it gets to, and over the years, I came to realize that if you're not intentional about your mental health, then you might find yourself crushed all of a sudden and you're at a point you cannot. So I've become more intentional about myself because I realized I'd given too much and forgot about me as a person.
Yeah,
so
for many, many years.
For many, many years. And so it reached a point it was actually really affecting me. So I have become very intentional on taking care of myself. There are days I would not pick calls or anything just to put it on the side. I mean, so just to...
But as a doctor, I'm sure there are some emergencies that...
But right now I don't practice.
Oh, you're not practicing. You're full-on entrepreneur.
Yes, yeah.
So when you were practicing, it was even worse.
No, that one, it was, you buy a bed, but you rarely sleep in that bed. So you're always called for an emergency. I mean, you need to go to a cesarean section. You need to sleep in the hospital because there are patients you're monitoring, yeah.
There was a time it was glorious to work 18 hours a day. You remember? I don't know if you remember those days.
People would say, I'm putting in the hours.
Yeah. So there was once I went for this corporate gig and the managers actually started saying, oh, now I am resting for 8 hours. I don't know if they had been given KPIs of, now you must rest.
Now you must rest.
Yeah. How important is it?
You need to have a break. You need to have the body, just like any other thing, has only so much it can take. If you don't do that, then the repercussions could be very terrible. Fatigue is one of the worst things. People go into depression just because they are all over trying to push things too much and they forget about themselves. And so I tell people, have a balance in everything. Life is about balancing. Yes.
Good word over there. I think you ndio tutakata. Kata hiyo And lastly, do you think we'll ever reach a time in Kenya, I think you'll answer this in a minute, where we'll just have universal healthcare, where you can just come to your hospital, be treated, and just go home? It's a long journey ahead.
It's possible. I always say I come from a school of thought that there's nothing that's impossible. Elon Musk has put people to go to. You understand? Who would ever thought? So it is possible. It is the goodwill the intention, the honesty and genuineness of the people involved and who want to make it work. It is possible to achieve it.
Are there any countries that are already doing this?
Yeah, there are people. I mean, in the West, people get care.
The UK?
US is messed up, yes, but UK, NHS is working very well, extremely well. Yeah,
So there's hope for us.
inshallah.
It's timely that you've come here, especially with all these Shah stories that are happening. I won't let you comment on that. I'll let the morning guys look for you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, if I want to come to, use your services,
Yes.
best RFH, you can tell us. We can follow you on Instagram, right?
Yes, we are on Instagram. We are on the socials,
Okay.
RFH Healthcare.
All right.
Yes.
Shout out to you and all the good work that you're doing.
Thank you very much.
If you want to follow RFH and the good work they're doing, just check it out. RFH Healthcare on Instagram. There's so much that you'll interact with
LinkedIn,
over there.
Facebook.
Yes. And Dr. Maxwell, thank you for making the time.
Thank you very
I
much.
met you at a gig and I told you, hey, nataka ukuje show yangu man, and you're gracious.
That gig and this one are two different Kisianganis.
That was another hat I was wearing.
But you need to wear that hat more often.
No, we'll do.
Your jokes
After
are,
hours.
Your jokes are on another level.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you so
very
much.
Okay.
We're going to get to the top of the hour. Remember, the hashtag is the wind down. Let me know what you think about the conversation we've just had. But you don't need to go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. I'll be back.
It's 9 o'clock.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. Clocked out and stressed out? Yeah. Join the wind down for unfiltered conversations and a dash of light banter blend to give you a reset after a long day.
That's what it is.
Tune in, relax, and reclaim your chill, laughter, and good vibes on the wind down.
You got it locked.
Let's wind down your day the right way on the wind down.
Nothing else like it. Nothing else like it.
Yeah.
I got it.